What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a story time for y'all that I think you're going to enjoy about the time this kid's mom got super mad at me and threatened to sue me because I skated past them. Yeah, you can't make this up, dude. Every now and then people be going crazy. But before we get into it, be sure to press the like button or no joke, no scam. This'll happen to you, and trust me, you don't want that. And without further ado, let's go.
Nice rack in her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million.
Alright, so this takes place probably 2-3 months ago at this point, and it was just a pretty chill morning, and I decided since the weather was good that I was gonna go skate around. It was probably about 9 a.m., and you know, this is weird, but I didn't really know what day it was. Not in a bad way, I just make a video every day, so whether it's a weekend or a weekday, my schedule stays basically the same. So I just get to the park and it's realized that it's kind of popping. So I check my phone and sure enough, it's a weekend and I'm like, all right, whatever. Well, I'll just keep skating. You know, there's just more people here than normal. And there's this bike trail that goes around this park near my house, and I was just kind of skating on it, and I had passed people walking, bikers had passed me. It's just kind of what happens on a bike trail when it gets busy is people go past one another. And I'm coming up and I see this kid and his mom riding their bikes next to each other, and they're going pretty slow. I don't know if the kid is learning how to ride his bike or something. So I come up past them and I just get into the next lane and I start to go past them. As you do when you're going faster than somebody, you know, you don't run them off the road, you just go around them. And as I'm going around them, I get this weird feeling and I turn and look and the kid is just staring at me, right? Staring. And it's kind of weird. He's staring way too long, but I'm kind of like, all right, this is weird. And as I'm thinking about how weird this is that he's staring, he's not paying attention and he starts to kind of go off the trail. And his tire goes off the trail and he's riding and he's riding and he's like, Mom, and she's like, hit the brake. But for some reason, he doesn't hit the brake and I see him crash into a tree. And the bike goes down and he goes down and she's like, oh my God, you know, she's running over there. And I didn't need to stop and make sure he's all right, but I had just watched him crash, so I wanted to make sure he's okay. So I stop and I pick up my skateboard and I start walking over there and I'm like, hey, is everything okay? Do you guys need help or anything? Because, you know, it's not my fault. I didn't make him crash. I didn't do anything, but whatever. Just, you know, if they needed an ambulance or whatever, if he hits the tree and got really hurt and I just dip and don't help at all, I would feel bad forever, you know? So I go over there and I'm like, hey, do you guys need any help? And the mom's like, no. And she looks up and she sees that it's me and she goes, were you the guy that skated past us? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, what is wrong with you? What, are you crazy? And I honestly have no idea what she's talking about, dude, because I had just gone to pass them the same way that I had passed 30 other people on the bike trail this morning. And, you know, she keeps screaming, do you have any idea that what you're doing is incredibly dangerous and it's improper etiquette while on a bike trail? And I really have no clue what she's talking about because, first of all, I didn't know that there was, etiquette on a bike trail other than, don't get in people's way and if someone's passing you, pull over. And I didn't realize that there was a rule about, people on skateboards are not allowed to go past people on bikes. So I'm just kind of excuse me, what are you talking about? And she starts to just give me this list of rules on the bike trail, rule 1, rule 2, and rule 3. Rule number 4, you are not supposed to pass people on a bike trail without first exclaiming the direction on which you will be passing them. So I guess passing is okay, but because I didn't go on your left and then pass them, somehow this is all my fault. And I want to make it clear too, this bike trail has 2 lanes, but they're pretty big lanes. Her son and her were riding next to each other and were in one lane. I got into the other lane because there was nobody coming and went past them, right? So I didn't think I did anything dangerous. So I'm sorry for not saying on your left, but that has nothing to do with why the kid crashed. It's not like I caught him off guard. He had to swerve because I was too close and then he crashed. He just wasn't paying attention. And I skate all the time, you know, it's probably my favorite thing to clear my head, you know, if I'm bored, I'll just go skate. I pass people all the time if we're on a trail and it's busy. It's just something that I do and I've never had anyone stop me and get mad at me for not yelling that I'm going to pass them. Usually I just go by them and people don't say anything, that's normal. So, you know, I'm I don't know what you wanted me to do. Was I supposed to yell? And she goes, well, if you have to pass, you should yell, but but you should know that it's not proper etiquette to pass anyone in general. And now I'm just confused because I'm like, wait, it's just rude to pass people in general? And she's like, yeah. So let me get this straight. You wanted me to just skate behind you guys slowly because you're going really slow? Like, that's what you wanted? I feel like that's weirder. And I say that. And she, of course, is like, oh, you're trying to get smart with me right now. You know, you didn't have to skate behind us slowly. And I'm like, well, if I can't pass you, then what am I supposed to do? And she's like, stop being smart with me. My son's hurt and it's all your fault. Like, basically the reason he crashed his bike is all on you. Keep in mind, I didn't do anything. The kid just was not paying attention and crashed. Like, I didn't push him. I didn't kick him. Like, what? And to make matters worse, I turn and look at the kid, and the kid's not crying. He's not upset. He's not holding his knee. He's just kind of standing there with his bike in his hand, looking more embarrassed than anything. Like, you know, if the kid would have been sitting there holding his snapped arm, like, oh my God, it would have been a very different situation. But he's fine. There's literally nothing wrong with him. So I'm like, well, you know, he seems pretty fine. And regardless, I didn't make him crash the bike. So whatever. Next time I see you guys, I will let you know if I'm passing you, but I'm out of here. Best of luck. And I just go back to the trail. They were kind of off the trail. So I get my skateboard and I start walking back to the trail, and I turn back around and I go to wave, and she's walking towards me. And so I turn and I go to just try to skate before she can get to me, right? And as I'm putting my foot on the skateboard to push away, she grabs my arm and I turn around and she's like, my son is in so much pain and you're just gonna leave him like that? And once again, dude, I look over and the kid is just standing there. And I don't know if this lady was just trying to get somebody who would feel bad that she could milk for medical money or whatever, but she would not let go of this idea that her son was dramatically hurt from that crash. That once again, I had nothing to do with. Even if your kid crashed into that tree, bro, a branch goes through his spleen. I don't know how that would happen, hypothetically. I didn't make him crash. So, whatever, she's arguing with me about how her son is in so much pain and, you know, he's never going to want to ride a bike again. And I'm like, okay, all right. She's just kind of going off. And finally, I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? You know, what do you want me to do? Fine. Do you want me to take the kid to the hospital? What do you want me to do? And she's like, well, I don't know. And the kid at that point has walked up to us and he goes, I'm fine. Stop. And at that point, I'm like, see, he says he's fine. He says he's fine. What do you want me to do? If the kid doesn't think there's anything wrong, he doesn't seem hurt, am I supposed to just assume that he has a broken leg he's walking on? He's Iron Man out here. He's got the health regeneration abilities of Wolverine. What is the situation? And then his mom is like, you know what? I'm tired of you trying to be all smart with me. You give me your name and I'll have my lawyer contact you and see if you think that, you know, you're still not at fault. And I do the age-old fantastic strategy of I just say no, you know. She's like, give me your name so I can sue you. And I was just like, no. And I don't know if she knew that was an option. I don't have to just tell random people my name because they yell at me and say that they really want to know my name. That's not how it works. And she's like, trust me, you're going to be hearing from my lawyer. Give me your name. I want to press charges on you. Keep in mind, I didn't do anything, right? I literally passed them. What is she going to tell the lawyer? That oh, he skated past me and didn't yell in time, so therefore I crashed my bike? That just makes no sense. But whatever, she's like, give me your name. And once again, I'm just like, no, I'm just not. Why would I give you my name? Why? You shouldn't lead with, I'm going to sue you if you give me your name, because now I'm just not going to give you my name. And of course, there's a big scene being made. There's a lot of yelling. And there was these two old ladies that were walking laps around the park, and they come around and they start walking over to us when they see that there's kind of a big fiasco. And they walk over, and I instantly am very grateful to just see other people here. And they're like, what's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, you know, and before I can even start explaining it, she's like, he made my son crash his bike, you don't understand, he came out of nowhere and passed us. And she's like, okay, well, he passed you guys, how does that make your kid crash his bike? And she's kind of sitting there well, it caught him off guard, it surprised him. And she's like, all right, well, he had nothing to do with your kid crashing his bike. And I'm like, thank you, old lady, thank you very much. you know. I don't know whose grandma this was, but I appreciated her help. Alright guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for just 1 second. If you take a look at your screen now, you'll see a gift card code. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away in every video I post to say thanks to y'all for subscribing and turning on notifications. So if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you already do, you rock. And while I've got your attention, be sure to press the like button, otherwise your mom's a hoe. And yeah, let's shut up and get back to it. Thanks. So these old ladies come in and they're kind of on my side. They're like, I don't really understand how he made your son crash, or like what you could possibly think that he's wrong, you know. But they're like, all right, well, what's your side of things? What's your side of things? And so finally, I get to tell my story. And I'm like, look, all that happened was I was skating by. I'm going faster. I go to pass him. The kid is staring, so, you know, he's not looking where he's going. He goes off course, and he crashes. And at that point, I stopped to see what was wrong. Next thing I know, this lady's talking about how she's gonna sue me because somehow I used my Jedi mind powers to make her kid crash. And the lady could tell that I'm kind of getting frazzled at that point, you know, and I'm not trying to fight with the old lady at all, but like, she's like, okay, well, it's okay. I'm on your side. It's okay. And I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. I'm just, you know, it's kind of annoying. And she's like, I get you, but like, you know, you don't gotta be smart with me. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. So she's like, all right, so basically you went by, the kid was looking at you, not looking on the road, he veered off course and crashed. And I'm like, yes. And you stopped to see if the kid's all right. I'm like, yes. Well, why did you stop? I'm like, I don't know, because the kid crashed into a tree. I want to make sure he's okay. And he's fine. And the lady looks at the kid. The kid is like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, all right, well, you know, okay. And listen, I wouldn't be trying to leave or like not give my name or like argue if the kid had actually been seriously hurt and it was my fault at all. Like, you know, then obviously then like it's my fault, but I just didn't do anything and he wasn't hurt. And even if he did get hurt, I just didn't do anything. And so I'm talking to one old lady, she's talking to the other, and I hear the lady scream at that old lady, well, even if I can't sue him, I want to know your name, you know, because he's a threat. And I'm like, a threat? What do you mean, bro? I'm just skating. Like, this is such a train wreck, dude. I'm really just trying to, like, go skate around. It wasn't that deep. And so she's like, give me your name. And she's yelling at me now. And I'm like, no, I don't want to give you my name. And she's like, give me your name. And I'm like, no, like, I don't know you, no. And she's like, give me your name. And finally I reverse it. I'm like, no, you tell me your name. What's your name? You give me your full name. Tell me where you work. You tell me all that. And she's like, what? Why do you want to know that? And I'm like, exactly. Why do you want to know that, dude? And she's like, well, because. And I'm like, well, then if you're gonna get my name, then I need your name. And all of a sudden, we're kind of going back and forth again, arguing. And the old lady that had been cool with me, she just taps me on the shoulder. And she's like, just go. Just go. Like, this is never going to end. This argument's going to last forever. Just go. So I get on my skateboard and I start going. And I don't have my headphones back in yet, you know? Like, I just wanted, I don't know. Like, I was just kind of more focused on getting out of there. So I'm finally skating away. And as I'm skating away, I'm listening because I know she's going to say something. And I'm not going to turn around. I'm not going to argue. But, like, I know it's coming, right? And I hear her, instead of, like, saying anything after me or arguing anymore, just be like, let's go home now, Nathan, you ruined my bike ride. And the kid's like, I don't want to go home. And she's like, we're going home now, Nathan. Like, she screams at him again, right? And so I turn to look because I'm like, well, the kid didn't do anything. Like, if you're gonna be mad at anyone, right, at least be mad at the old ladies or something. Your kid didn't do anything. But, you know, whatever. Poor Nathan's out here getting yelled at after his mom went bonkers trying to fight everybody in the park, dude. This is the equivalent of like what is it, geese that are mean, or swans? Like, what's the one where they're at the park and they just chase people around biting? Like, that was like this woman's spirit animal. Anyways, I look back and they're now both riding their bikes the other way, like away from me. And the kid is riding his bike fine the other way. So, you know, okay, obviously if homeboy can get back on the bike and ride back to the car because you want to take him home, the injury can't be that bad, right? Like, you know, I need your name so I can sue you for my son's bike injury that you didn't cause. Meanwhile, she makes him hop back on the bike and get back to the car. Like, you're embarrassing me in public. Whatever, dude. It would have been ridiculous, man. I really do feel bad for the kid more than anything because he was probably just trying to get out, enjoy his bike ride. Next thing you know, his mom's trying to World War VII basically everybody within a 3-mile radius. I also would love to hear her explanation to a lawyer, you know? He's like, all right, so let me get this straight. You were at the park on a bike trail. Somebody went past you. your son crashed and you want to sue him. And she's like, yes. He's like, okay, for what? Like, I just am not understanding the situation at hand. Even if she asked really, really pretty please, I wasn't going to tell her my name because, you know, I just feel like that's not what you do after somebody starts threatening you. Like, if somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna find you, track you down later and fight you, give me your name. Like, you're just like, nope. No. So, yeah, if you're going to the park, if you're going to be doing anything, just be on the lookout for some Karens out there trying to bait some lawsuits or something. You know, they put that on the end of their hook, throw it out there, try to get somebody on the end of the hook over there. Realistically, man, I don't know. People just be weird, dude. Everyone's been locked inside for a year, you know. People adjusting still. I just feel bad for the kid. That's all I'm saying, dude. At the end of the day, whatever. She was trying to defend her kid in her mind, I guess. I think she was trying to make me feel bad and make me feel responsible for something I didn't do so she could get some money personally, okay? But that's just a theory, a game theory. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. If you enjoyed while you're at it, be sure to leave a comment down below. If you don't know what to comment, just comment the word dragon down there. I'd appreciate it. Other than that, a link to the intro song will be in the description, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, or you could use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout. Great way to get a discount on G Fuel, and of course, help me out, you know, I'd appreciate it. Last but certainly not least, I did go ahead and put some of my story times up on Spotify so that way y'all could listen to them offline if you're going on vacation or whatever or without gameplay. So that link will be at the top of the description. Be sure to check it out. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.